what's going on, my friends? It's Dave Sharpe. Welcome to Wake Up Legendary. And this morning, we have yet another awesome guest I'm excited to speak to. And she is a stay-at-home mom. She's done MLM. She's kicked that to the curb. She's now built a 20,000 person audience out there on social media. And I'm excited to hear about her story. Tiffany, welcome to the show.
Hi, thank you for having me.
You're so welcome. Where are you calling in from?
Vancouver, Washington.
Okay, lots of Vancouver, Washington. Hold on a second. So you're in the United States?
Yeah, we're about 20 minutes from Portland, Oregon.
Okay.
Yeah, we're just over the bridge.
Okay. I thought it was Vancouver, Canada, but this is a different Vancouver.
Yeah, different Vancouver. We're in the state of Washington. It gets confused all the time.
You've not ever heard that from anybody before, right?
Never.
So what led you to Legendary? What were you looking for? Were you scrolling social media and just kind of stumbled upon us like so many people, or were you actually, searching for something? Tell us kind of how the beginning started.
Yeah, so I've kind of always been like an entrepreneur at heart. Like I've always known that there's more out there than just working a job. And being a stay-at-home mom, I didn't want to like sacrifice time with my kids or being able to homeschool. And so, like you said, I've done MLMs. I was really successful with everything that I've done. And then I started my own like unique boutique online, and that did really well. But the overhead, the shipping, the reinvestments, all of it was just a lot. So I closed my shop down. And then we moved out of state for about a year, and my husband got quite a bit of time off during that time. And I realized how much time he had missed out on with our kids during that. So we moved back to our home state in Washington, and I was determined to find something where I could kind of free some stress off my husband because he worked like 60-hour weeks. And so I was praying, actually. I said a prayer and I was like, Lord, whatever you have for me, I just bring it to me, because I'm open and I'm willing to do whatever you bring to me. And so literally, I'm not kidding, I don't use TikTok. I don't use like social media besides Facebook. And within 5 minutes, something told me to open TikTok. I have never posted a video, nothing. I opened it up and bam, there was a video of a mom sharing the opportunity. And I was like, okay, God, I see you. And so I kind of watched her for about 2 weeks and kind of was skeptical and like wasn't sure and listened. And then I did my research and then I hopped in.
Wow.
Yeah.
Sometimes I've said over the years, is it odd or is it God?
Yeah.
In this moment, because you can adjust that to your belief system. I don't like to force my beliefs on other people. So it sort of allows you to, hey, that's just a coincidence, or you know what? That's a God moment, man.
Yeah.
That's a God thing. Kind of adjust that based on your beliefs and use it. And I can clearly see which one you would choose if that was multiple choice. So you went through the challenge. What was that like were you already somewhat familiar with marketing because of your network marketing experience, or was this kind of all new to you?
So I was kind of familiar with like starting a group on Facebook and like kind of getting like a little audience and going live. I never have really liked lives. That was like the scariest thing for me. Like I'm terrified of the camera. And so, but I kind of got over that with my
like online public speaking.
Yeah, it's like shaking, and you're like, oh my gosh, I have to try and close on camera. Like this is crazy. But I kind of got over that. And when I found Legendary Marketer, I didn't really know about what affiliate marketing was or digital marketing, really, besides just a little bit from my boutique. And so taking the training, my mind was kind of like blown. I was like, wow, there's so much out there that I've been missing out on, and so many different opportunities, whether it's like creating your own course or promoting other people's products or like whatever. There's so many options and different avenues and ways you can make money. So
yeah. And so because a lot of people look at this and think that like affiliate marketing is like MLM, or in other people call it a pyramid. And I'm not here to defend MLM because we're not doing MLM. But what is your perspective of the difference between MLM and that sort of a model and affiliate marketing? We can just talk about affiliate marketing. Of course, we teach four business models.
Yeah.
What is the difference in your eyes, just for those who are not quite sure, between MLM, since you've done it, and affiliate marketing?
Yeah. So for me, I think like one of the biggest differences that for me that I love, because I've never really been the person, because I'm a little bit introverted and kind of shy, and like I'm not like, and my husband's like polar opposite. He's a car sales guy. He's like loud, doesn't care what people think. So we're like complete opposites. But for me, I never really liked the idea of having to like feel like I was pressuring people to like join my team and do this whole ladder thing, and like I have to get them to keep them pumped up in order for my business to do good. Like that's what the MLM kind of is. It's like a tier thing. And so with affiliate marketing, it's solely based off the work that I put in, and I don't have to pump other people up. I just have to come consistently every day, show up and do my thing, and my business will thrive. So for me, that was the biggest difference that I liked.
Yeah. And for me, one of the biggest differences that I also liked on top of that, because I don't want to babysit or manage a bunch of people who don't really
Yeah.
want to do something. You know what I mean? Like
Hmm.
if you just put a couple of $100 down for something, most people are not going to take it that seriously. You put a couple
Yeah.
of $1,000 down to learn something or join something or whatever, a lot of people don't take it seriously. So
Yeah.
the difference also for me, on top of the things that you mentioned, is that I get the same leverage. Actually, I get
Hmm.
better leverage, because in MLM, I'm over here hoping that everybody's going to go do something, and that's called leverage, right?
Yeah.
Well, they most of the time never do. But I get more powerful leverage when I learn these strategies, because now I start using things like tools, like
Hmm.
video, like online video, which tells my exact thing I need to say over and over perfectly every time. And it
Hmm.
never messes up. It never calls me to ask me for a three-way call. It
Yeah.
never, the online video never, it never stops. It never gets tired. I never have to pump it up. The same thing with my email list. You know, I can drive traffic selling any product in any niche that I can be an affiliate for, and I can build an email list, and I can literally build that email list for a year and then never drive another single piece of traffic and only make money from nurturing that email list. That's
Yeah.
called leverage, right? That's called
Hmm.
leverage. The business models online that allow you to use the internet really for what it is. It's this powerful piece of technology that just never gets tired. It never sleeps. It's always available. And if you put the correct marketing material and strategies on the internet, it will do its thing actually when you're sleeping, or
Yes.
actually when you're on vacation. You won't get an annoying call. You won't get
Yep.
somebody telling you from your upline that you need to do more, because it's actually the closest thing to passive income that there is. Now, there is no such thing really as passive income in a business, right?
Yeah.
But when you have a video that's going viral, or you have a sales video that plays your presentation 24/7, and it's creating traffic, leads, and sales, that's about as dang close as you get to passive income on the internet as you can. And um so were you okay being new with this? Did you have any ego or pride or anything internally that you had to overcome? Did you have to remind yourself, hey, I think this is this isn't an odd thing. This is a God thing. I need to keep going. How did you get through those early parts? Were you excited? And when did you run into anxiety?
So for me, I was very excited, like from this. Okay, so for me, when I make a decision and I'm gonna do something, I almost am like a little obsessive. Like I won't
Mhm.
stop until like I at least achieve some of the goals that I have. Like I just go 100%, maybe 1,000%. So yeah, for me, I think getting over the anxiety, my biggest hurdle was when I started was going on video and on camera. That was one thing for me. I literally had to have my children leave the room. My husband couldn't be around. Like I had to shut myself in the bedroom. I couldn't even hear myself talk. That's how awkward it was for me.
Mhm.
And so in the beginning, that's one of the anxieties that I had, that I kind of had to like get over myself on that and just be like, why do I care what strangers think? I don't know. They're like across the world. I'm never going to see them in person. Their opinion doesn't really matter. It doesn't affect my family. And so it's like, I just have to do this because the only way to get exposure and to like share the opportunity or share products or share whatever that is that I wanted to share, I have to put my face out there. And so, I mean, there is ways you can do it without your face, but I feel like building an audience off of rapport and like people building a trust with you as a person, I feel like is very important.
And it converts better.
Yeah.
This is this is the simplest way I can say it is, yeah, you don't have to put your face out there. There are other strategies to use stock video, to even take photos and videos of things on your own phone that are not your face. It doesn't always have to be about you and your face.
Yeah.
Even quite frankly, my friends, even if you choose to put your face in a or some videos, you don't have to put them in every video.
Yeah.
I mean, there is flexibility depending upon our creativity. So you were anxious. Do you know that's the first time I've ever heard that before, Tiffany? You know, I've
I'm
never heard
sure.
somebody ever be anxious about getting on video before. Um, my friends, I ask this question nearly every day because we all struggle with this. We all have a challenge of getting on video or public speaking. Even the best public speakers, people say to me, Dave, you're a pretty good speaker in public. I say, well, you should feel my dadgum stomach before I go out there, baby, because, you know, I'm thinking that I need to bring a commode with me. It's normal. It's normal to, and that, what did I say to you behind stage, back virtual backstage before we went live? You said, I'm nervous. And I said, it's because you what?
You care. Mm-hmm.
You don't get nervous about things unless you actually care about them. You know what I
Exactly.
mean? And I
Yeah.
tell that to my 7-year-old daughter all the time before she goes and does her acro dancing up on stage and so forth. She goes, Daddy, I'm nervous. I'm scared. I say, I'm glad to hear that. If you weren't, I'd be worried about you.
Yeah. Exactly.
You know, I mean, you're having a natural human emotion. It's that you care. So talk to us how you talked yourself through the video thing. What sort of things did you do that made it easier for you?
So for me, I practiced a little bit and I would just press the button and I knew that, okay, it's not being posted. And so like I go back and I watch some of my first videos and I literally looked like a zombie. I was like talking so quiet and like this. And I'm like, okay, that's cringy, but I knew that it was going to be a process and I would get more comfortable over time. And so I tell people, I say, just press the damn button, just post it. So I tried a couple times, trial and error, and I would get it to where I felt comfortable if someone saw it, but still I really wasn't comfortable. And I literally just had to tell myself, just screw it, just post it. I hate it, but I'm going to post it and
Yeah.
just do it. And I'm getting more comfortable and I can just grab the camera. Now I'm still a little awkward, but I've gotten to the point where I'm just so comfortable doing it. I just grab the camera and I just start talking. You just have to do it.
Yeah. How valuable, now you use the specific language, and I do think language is important. So I'm going to invite everybody to find their own word that they like. You had a screw it moment. There's some other 4-letter words that I can think of that people might want to interchange that with. How important do you think having a screw it moment is, to just say, screw it, screw what people think, screw all these silly thoughts? It's almost like the last moment before we do anything crazy or impactful or big or whatever. There's a moment of screw it, let's go.
Yeah.
How important do you think it is to embrace that?
I feel like it's very important and it can be with any aspect of life, whether it's like you said, like doing something scary like skydiving or doing something for the first time with your kids or starting an online business or posting your face on social media. You literally just have to, it's a voice in your head and you literally just have to talk to yourself and just be like, you want to know what? Like I said, it's strangers. These people have no, like, they're not in my everyday life. And so I really should not take their opinions to heart because you're going to get the haters. You're going to get people that like to be, tech savvy and just type their hateful words toward you. But really, does their opinion really matter in the end? It doesn't. So, like I said, the screw it moment was just forget what anyone thinks and just post the damn video and just get over yourself. You just have to, like I said, I've always been a little bit insecure on camera and I just had to say, I just need to get over myself. And my husband kept telling me, babe, you just got to do it. And I was like, you're right. I'm just going to do it.
Who
So,
hasn't been insecure about themselves on camera? Show
yeah.
me one person. We've got 503 people on this, and this is a realistic, like, this is a good sample. We've got 503 people listening to this. Who wasn't a little bit nervous when you first started going on camera? Let us know in the comments. Who wasn't a little bit anxious? Who wasn't uncomfortable? Who wasn't sweating? And, I
Yeah.
guarantee you we won't. It's like tumbleweeds there. I mean,
Yep.
it is such a normal thing. And I really think that learning how to experience our feelings in these moments are really important and totally like something that we should talk about. It's like we're all going to have feelings. We're all going to have big feelings. It's
Yeah.
scary. It can be scary to press post and put yourself out there. It can be scary to talk to, it can just be scary to mess with software that you've never messed with before. And there's other feelings. You're dealing with so many of your limiting beliefs that may have even been there since childhood. And who knows if we even installed them, or it was mom or dad who was instilling these sort of maybe kind of complex or insecurity, right?
Yeah.
It can only take one comment. We're sensitive human beings. As we grow up, we raise our hand and stand up in the class and say, my name's David and I got a social studies presentation. And somebody goes, sit down, loser. I'm scarred.
Yeah.
And so we have to talk that rational stuff like you were talking. So some of the things that you said, I'm never going to see these people again. What else do you specifically remember that you've told yourself? Just a couple of other things that maybe others could remember and borrow. I'm never going to see these people. What else do you tell yourself? And what even do you tell yourself today?
So for me, I just knew that it was something that I was going to build more confidence in myself if I just showed up every day and just continued just to do uncomfortable things. So anytime you do uncomfortable things, there's always going to be growth, right? So I knew that if I just kept showing up and kept doing what made me feel uncomfortable, that eventually I would just get over that feeling and that it would cause growth in me and more confidence. And so for me, that was a big one.
So you kind of know that in order to grow, you must go through uncomfortable beginnings.
Yes.
That you know that to be a fact. So it's not like you're going into this or you went into this expecting everything to happen fast and it be easy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yes, 100%. Look, like today going on the live, I was terrified I was going to get a coughing fit because I'm getting over a cold. I'm like, watch me be hacking on camera with Dave Sharpe. Like, but
Well,
cough
just mute
drops
yourself.
ready, water ready. We're good.
Yeah, I do it all the time. I hack, I cough, I do it all. I've done it all on camera. I have taken the phone to the bathroom with me and not put it on mute. Thankfully, I've never had the camera on. I have done so many things in the last 12 years. And what I really found that was great, Tiffany, was the freedom that I got when I really stopped criticizing myself so much and how
Yeah.
much actual fun I started having. And I have to this day when I stopped living in here, as Tony
Mhm.
Robbins said, if you're in your head, you're dead.
Yeah.
And I believe that because I've done it so much that there's actually no way for me to do this and be in my head. I can't because it's just you can't be two places at once, And
Exactly.
and so the freedom that I have gotten and the fun that I have had once I stopped criticizing myself so much and picking myself apart because we really use a magnifying glass that nobody else in the world even has access to. They can't even buy it. We put ourselves under a microscope and say, ew, I didn't like that little that I said. It's like nobody would even
100%.
notice it.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody will even notice it. But it's this big thing that I think is a problem. And then, as somebody commented, by the way, nobody said that they had no fear, no anxiety, but there have been a lot of people who have said, well, my first video, I did it 42 times. And, so which we can relate to. So, yeah, this is something that we all kind of have a challenge with is getting out of our own way. Um, as you were starting and looking around, did you find yourself falling into any comparisonitis? And how have you really kept the focus on yourself while still learning from others?
Yeah. So it's kind of funny you say that. Me and my husband were just talking about this last week. So I mean, you see people in the same industry as you are doing the same kind of thing that you're doing, and you it's like human nature. You kind of want to compare and you're like, oh, well, they're doing this and they had this result and they had this result. But then I had to think about it and I'm like, well, there's also people that are probably looking up to me and they're just starting and they're like, oh, she's doing really good, she's doing this, maybe I need to ask her some questions. So I just had to be like, you want to know what, we're all on our own journey and it might take me a little bit longer, I might do it a little faster, I don't really know. I just got to show up consistently every day, and I comparing isn't going to do anything. It's just going to make me sit like this and I'm not going to get anything accomplished comparing myself constantly. So
Or like this.
yeah, just scrolling. Yep.
See my thumb? Just
Mm-hmm.
This is not an active making money position, everybody.
Nope.
Like this. See when my thumb's doing that? That's called scroliosis, right? It's just I can't stop it, you know. And this is the gift and the curse of what we do, is that we have this thing in our hands, right? This phone. And, you know, up until this point, we've only really been taught how to use this thing as a consumer, right? It's like, well, look, I got a nice picture of me and my kid. It's a nice little thing that I always can go on whenever I feel nervous or I'm in a place or whatever. I can just act like I'm on my phone. And it's really just become this like place where we can go and hide,
Yeah.
not face our feelings, not take any chances or risk, not talk to anybody that is in the real world, right? We wonder why we wonder why it's hard to talk to a camera. Well, we're doing this all the time when we're around people. We don't even have practice talking to other people. So this phone thing is a gift and a curse, and it's something that is so powerful, can make you so much money. It's so powerful. But until we start to have a little discipline around this device, until we start to build a game plan of actually what we're going to do, and until we kind of shift our dopamine to getting hits from accomplishing things, right? Instead of just going on the phone and just mindlessly scrolling, getting dopamine that way, we have to shift sort of how we reward ourselves. So what sort of new disciplines, what sort of new boundaries? We'll talk about family, friends, all those, but what sort of disciplines and boundaries have you had to sort of develop within yourself over the last couple of months?
Yeah. So since I've started this, I actually this coming week I actually have like a goal for myself. I watched one of your Wake Up Legendary videos, and you said you have to schedule your success, or you have to schedule your business. And so this coming week I actually have some goals that I am going to literally schedule my time out a little bit more like efficiently. But yeah, I haven't been the greatest at doing that up to this point. Like I'm a little, because I'm a stay-at-home mom, I homeschool, so I
Yeah,
like find little pockets of time throughout the day
totally.
and kind of just like fit it in here, fit it in there. And I'll just like, oh, I just thought of something, I'm going to throw that on a video real quick. But I do agree. I think that scheduling your business, like if you're a working person, then you do your videos at night for the next day, or you could do it right before you go to work or on your lunch break or whatever. I feel like having somewhat of like a little bit of a schedule or some
Mhm.
kind of like a layout, it kind of keeps you on structured a little bit.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you're going to be scattered and not really have consistency at all.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, a lot of times we resist structure because we're free-spirited entrepreneurs,
Yeah.
and that can be detrimental, because if I don't schedule my success, if I don't schedule my income, what do I mean by my success? If I don't schedule doing my income producing activities for that day, okay, I'm going to leave them till the end of the day when I'm tired, when I really want to go to bed, when I really
Yeah.
want to spend time with my spouse, when I really want to go do whatever I do at night, whenever I want to just go watch some TV. Like,
Yeah.
being an entrepreneur doesn't mean that we have to like starve ourselves from every other aspect of life and totally do this 18 hours a day. It means that if we are more a little bit more strategic with how we spend time throughout the day, instead of just scrolling, instead of just going on social media and just like doing research or whatever the things we do, but saying, look, before I sit down, like even the day before, like what's my number one priority for tomorrow?
Yeah.
Like if I like a lot of people make lists, and just transitioning now to how you schedule your things. A lot of people, make list, and that's good. To-do lists are good. But the problem with list is we end up making them so long and they're so big that they look overwhelming. And so I tell you, some of y'all need to just get some sticky pads and make your dadgum list or your priority for the next day.
The back wall right there.
There you go. There you go. 1 or 2 things, man. Like, what's the one thing I need to do every single day? Or what's the one thing I need to get done tomorrow? There's power in the one thing. There's power in the one thing. I need to get my funnel connected to AWeber tomorrow. I need to get 5 emails wrote and 2 videos posted. Like you don't need to accomplish everything in one day.
Yes.
You just have to do 1 or 2 income producing activities today, and then you stack that over time. And if you did 2 a day, you got over 700, you got 700 in a year that you've done. That's an incredible amount of income producing activity that will then eventually give you momentum. And you'll go from consciously needing to force yourself to do it every day to unconsciously doing it without thinking about it.
Yep. And it becomes a habit. 100%. I've definitely noticed that the more I stay consistent, and because I can get lost in my day being a stay-at-home mom with the dogs and the house duties and homeschooling and all that. And if I don't kind of have in my brain, when I first wake up, I'm going to make my first video and have it posted in this time frame. My second video, I'm going to have it like whatever my goals are for that day. If I don't have a little bit of some structure and like an idea of when I'm going to set some time aside, my day will just kind of go haywire.
And making the conscious choice that you are inviting this into your life, and that you are choosing to take on a business, for example, if you're a stay-at-home mom, or even if you have another job, is a conscious decision that we all make, knowing that, as you said, those first 3 to 6 months are probably going to be stressful, overwhelming, high highs and low lows. But you look at that as, and I heard you say this at the beginning of the show, I want to do this because I want to serve my family. I want to give back to my family and my husband. I want to help him have less stress. You've got a very clear why about why you're doing this, and you're going into this eyes wide open, right? Knowing
100%
that you're going to have to work a little bit harder. So how do you avoid getting into the pity pot? I mean, do you remind yourself, I chose this? Because it's easy to slip into that victim mentality. Maybe not for you, but it is for other people.
Oh, it is for me too.
How do you deal with that?
So mindset is huge. It's everything. So for me, it's a day by day thing, but there have been days where my husband, luckily I have his support. He's so awesome. And he kind of like talks me out of it. But I do have days where it's like, I didn't get the results today that I necessarily thought that I was going to get. And so I have to just kind of like talk myself out of that and know, like you said, the why is the most important thing. And the only reason to get to the end goal is if I talk myself out of those moments and I just keep showing up every single day. Because, I have days where I'm like, is this going to work for me like it is for that lady, like the comparisonitis, whatever you call it. And so, it's something I have to talk myself out of. But my husband, we've been together since I was 16, married at 18. We've been together a long time. And so he from day one, the second we started having kids, he was like, I want you to be able to stay home with the kids, because like that was very important for us. So whether he had to work 60 hours, 70 hours, not have a day off for a week, like he has busted his butt for like the last 19 years. And so I'm just like, why wouldn't that be a big enough why for me to relieve some stress off of him so he can spend time with our kids? My son's going to be 16 this summer and my daughter's going to be 13. They're not getting any younger. And so time is very precious. And that is what kind of keeps me grounded and keeps bringing me back to why I started.
Yeah. Yeah, that's really great. And if you're single or you don't have a husband or a family that you're trying to bring together more, then I wonder just how you could find yourself in all of this. So many of us lose ourselves over the years working for everybody else, and sometimes this can be a coming home to you thing. right? What are
Yeah.
your own personal goals? If you didn't have hubby there, if you didn't have the kiddos, if you didn't have this wonderful family and this wonderful husband you are working to try to make their lives better as well, what are your own personal goals? What do you want to prove to yourself with this?
Yeah, so for myself, like you said in the beginning, confidence is a big one because I've always struggled with confidence. And so I feel like knowing that I'm able to go out there and I'm able to, I also am doing this as a way to show and prove to my kids,
Mm,
like, that there's a better way than just a 9 to 5. And so I homeschool them for that purpose because I want them to be open thinkers and not like, has to be this way. And so, yeah, my personal goals is I feel like it's making me a better mom. I feel like it's giving me more confidence in myself. And then, I mean, we never know what can happen in life. What if something happened to my husband and he was to pass away, or like you just don't know. I want to have something for myself that I can always fall back on.
yeah.
And so, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And golly, entrepreneurship, there's nothing like it to build confidence, to build self-awareness, to build, because I mean, you're ultimately just, the buck stops with you. You're responsible, you
Yeah.
know? I mean, and even for some of you, I just challenge some of you who think that you need to do this with your spouse. You don't need to do anything with anybody. There's so much that you can learn about yourself. And so many of you think, well, I can't do this unless I have my spouse's support. Well, that's not true either, because that they may take their own process, their own
Yeah.
time to even understand what it is the hell that you're doing. So
Yeah.
they don't even know how to support you. Now you can certainly tell them how to support you. Hey, this would make me feel loved and supported. But man, there's so much to prove to yourself through this. You really can prove that you have a story and it matters, that you have so much more to give, that people like you so much more than you think. I always talk about the liking gap and the difference between how much we think people like us and how much they actually enjoy being around us more than we imagine.
Yeah.
But we get online, we run into a few snags, right? Maybe somebody says something mean out there on the internet. It's like, whoa, whew, that hurt. How do you deal with people that are critical of what you're doing, whether they're people that you know or people out there online? Stingers, zingers, little things that can sometimes just, I don't care how much we all say, I don't care what anybody says. We're all human.
Yeah.
How do you deal with the criticism, whether it's again from people that you know or the trolls online?
So for me with trolls, what I have done is I kill them with kindness to where they almost feel guilty for leaving the comment because they're expecting me to react to them, or
Mm,
they're expecting me to say something harsh back or be defensive. But instead, I literally just like I had someone make a comment on a post and they said ha 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 with some laughing faces, and I was said, what's so funny? And they said the way you posted this video, and I said, well, I'm sorry that this is something I'm proud about, but I literally just, I mean, you're gonna get people that are just gonna be negative, and I just kill them with kindness. That's the way I deal with it.
yeah,
Or I just won't even comment and I just ignore it.
man, you're dropping some wisdom this morning, because that is just, I wish I would have learned that so many years ago, man, because there was for so many years that I was on the internet, when somebody would leave a comment, I would expend so much energy trying to be as vicious and nasty back to
Yeah.
them, because I was hurt by what they
Hmm.
said. And I thought that the way for me to combat that was to try to be as vicious and mean back as I could. And boy, was I wrong. What you just said, there'll never be a truer statement, and there'll never be a better strategy in life. Not see, that's the thing I find. There's parallels between entrepreneurship and life. When you're kind back to somebody after they're being mean, that works so well in now if they're hurting you and you need to defend yourself, I'm talking about verbal
Yeah.
attacks and assaults and snide or passive aggressive comments, to stay high and just stay within your own integrity and with your own values, okay, of kindness, or not hurting people when people are hurting you, man, is like such an energy saver. That's what I wish I would
100.
have known.
100%. It's a natural instinct. You want to like get defensive and just be like,
Absolutely.
but then also I'm just like, that's not going to do any good, because then it's just going to be a back and forth thing. And it's like, I just don't even want to put that out there, or you could use that energy. So I just kill them with kindness.
Yeah. Now, look, there's always a place and a time, honestly, if you're an internet marketer and you're on video a lot, to just like go off. There's an appropriate time to go off and get people fired up. Now, you all see me do it right here on the show. Sometimes I get fired up. I mean, I start calling, people out or whatever, but it's not within me. That hatred is within me. It's an inspirational excitement to where I just change my energy levels. I don't particularly go from kindness and attitude of gratitude into hate. I don't go there. So if I'm going off feeling, motivated, inspired, not hateful. And man, when you got hate in your bones, or you got, the other thing is having a little bit thicker skin. Admittedly, I've had thin skin in a lot of areas of my life, just being a sensitive guy, to be quite honest with you. And developing a little bit thicker of a skin when people say things to you, not being so reactive, but really truly understanding that is something that is going on within that person, that they are for some reason projecting onto me. I don't know why. It's none of my business. And I don't need to defend it. I don't need to do anything with it. They just basically threw a big turd, and I don't have to look down and pick it up,
Nope. Or if you don't want to kill them with kindness, like you said, when you come with the motivation, I'll just drop facts and truth bombs, and there's nothing that they can argue with, because I'm like, you can go do the research yourself, or you can go look at this and that, and like, I mean, the facts are there. So
yeah, the other way to diffuse somebody who's testing you is to say, you don't have to buy from me, listen to me. These are just, what I'm talking about is valuable to know, whether you learn it from me or whether you hear it from somebody else. That works in every niche, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
If I have a baby sleep, and I want to talk about your husband's marriage course.
Oh yeah.
Okay. But if I had, say for example, I had a marriage course and people were listening to me and they were like, what do you know? Your wife probably hates you or whatever. They were saying it in the comments. I mean, there's not really anything I can do about that anyways. These people are sitting here making a comment. So me trying to defend something that I don't have factual evidence about, like, oh, my wife doesn't hate me. Right. It's just like, hey, look, I get it. You're skeptical. You should be skeptical. I believe this is information that you should know, whether you hear it from me or whether you hear it from somebody else, because there's more divorce happening. There's more challenges in life. People are making less money in most areas. They're struggling more. Marriages are on the line. So whether you hear this from me or whether you hear this from somebody else, it doesn't matter. You don't have to buy anything from me, right? Kind of putting it back on them, like, you don't have to buy anything from me. You don't have to listen to me. You should be skeptical. However, if you don't listen to me, you should listen to somebody else, because this is information you should probably know, because it'll really help you. And letting people know that you're not desperate for their money, that you're not desperate for their email. Like, you guys can go, I would just advise you to just learn this from somebody, right? There's other people out there, learn it from them. See, when you take something away and push people away, instead of trying to convince and argue, a lot of times when we try to convince and argue, what we forget about that is it only makes somebody double down on their point, because now they have to argue it back. So each time we come to argue, we're validating their point, in a sense, not validating it, but we're remotivating it, re-energizing their
it's like
because they get that much more energized at coming back to us. And so this is just something I've done, and it's worked so wonderfully in sales and marketing online, is to say, and there's no pressure here. You guys don't have to learn this from me. I just advise that you learn it somewhere,
Yeah.
because colleges are not teaching this information. And what you're being sort of raised to do is be a factory worker, at least have the mentality of a factory worker, right? They're not teaching that's, I mean, think back to why college. Do you think that we needed a bunch of CEOs and business owners when formal education was in colleges were being created? No, we had businesses that needed workers.
Yep.
We had train tracks and all these, the civilization that needed to be built, companies that needed employees. So it made sense for society to educate people to go in be good little boys and girls and listen to orders. So don't have an unrealistic expectation around the system doing something for you that it wasn't really designed to do. And so this entrepreneur thing is kind of in your family. It's in your kid. You're doing homeschooling. You have now your husband's even into this. Tell us about, is he doing a course on marriage, and how did that come to be?
So he kind of was watching me and seeing, I did a lot of studying on like the different social medias and like the best ways to grow on different platforms because they're all completely different. And so he kind of just like started seeing the success I was having. And then he would like hear me watching your videos or hear me watching trainings and all. And I think it was just like piquing his interest. And so he also has an entrepreneur spirit. And so over time, he ended up starting a TikTok, and he wasn't even going to do it to promote. He just like, I'm going to do a marriage TikTok page where I just give like really good video clips of like different ways to build your marriage and different things that you can do as like a husband or a wife to make your marriage more successful. And so he ended up growing 16,000 followers in like a month. And so after doing that, then he was like, I was like, babe, you literally have gold in front of you right now. You need to create something and do exactly what I'm doing, but create your own product and put it on there, because he had people asking like, what do you advise for this? Or what do you advise for that? And I mean, we're not experts or anything, but I think we have a pretty healthy marriage. And we,
Me, you ain't I mean, golly, you've been together since you were 16 years old, for Christmas sakes. You got something to teach.
So yeah, so I'm like, I think we have a pretty good marriage, and we're really good with communication and just like, I don't know, like we support each other and we don't really argue much. Like, I mean, we bicker, you know, all husband and wives do, but
the only thing your husband needs to show is how you love him, based on what we've all heard you say today. We already know that how great your marriage is based on how you were just talking about him.
yeah.
And it's really nice to hear that. Really, really nice to hear that. I'm sure he appreciates being talked about so highly by his wife. So I can imagine that he's got some good things to say. So that's so cool. So he's now created or is creating a course, a 21-day course that he can sell to people, or offer to people who are either asking him or do promotions, drive traffic, build an email list. I mean, you're going to be kind of, as he's going, probably saying, okay, but set up that landing page now, right? I mean, let's build that email list. And so he's kind of doing this in parallel with you, just in a different niche, and using something that he normally wouldn't be considered an expert in, right? That's where this can get confusing for people, because they're like, how do I pick my niche? I'm not an expert. I don't have a degree. I don't have a certification in marriage counseling, but dadgummit, if you have some freaking experience, you know, a couple of things, you have some information that can help an old boy like me or some other guys out there in their marriage. I need 3 hats.
3.
Get out there and share it, for Christmas sakes, because somebody can benefit from it. Was your husband surprised by the reactions?
He kind of was. He was like shocked, because like almost every video that, I mean, I know this isn't normal. Almost every video he was posting, it's a pain point. A lot of people are struggling in their marriage. Like you said, divorce is divorce rate is high. And so there's a lot of people that are dealing with current pains in their marriage. And so for him, he was like, wow, all these people are wanting advice. And so he created a 21-day marriage challenge, and it's like 21 days. And every day he gives 5 things that they can do in that day, and they can pick and choose 1 or 2. So it could be like a 48-day challenge, whatever you wanted to use it as. But he gives 5 things that you can do each day just little things to do for your spouse, or to like give encouragement, or say something nice, or write them a letter that day, or make their lunch and give them a note, or stop at their work and bring them coffee. Like just little different
Can I
things like
follow this
that.
guy and learn from this guy? Can I?
Yeah,
Seriously.
he's pretty awesome. And the second he started sharing it, he was getting opt-ins and like tons of
What's his
emails. And
handle, or where can we learn? Where can we follow him?
it's Rodeman Coach. Rodeman Coach.
Rodeman Coach. Let me put that up on a banner. Or can somebody put that up on a banner for me who's listening? Rodeman Coach. How do you spell that? R-O.
Rodeman, and then Coach, and that's his TikTok handle.
Let's make a banner for that. I want to follow this guy. This guy is like a real badass.
Yeah, and the cool thing is he's not even, the videos he's posting aren't even his own content. He's using a pastor that we used to follow like early on in our marriage that like gives great wisdom, and he just makes little clips and then he shares them and just edits it and clips it down. Yeah. Bullet points.
I love this.
Yeah.
Tiffany, you're on fire. Your whole family's on fire.
Thank you.
I love it.
I got bigger goals. So I'm after today, I was like telling my husband, I said, I'm pretty sure after I talk to Dave, I'm gonna be really fired up again. Like, cause I'm getting over a cold. So I've been a little slow this week, but back on course.
Rodeman.
Uh-huh.
Rodeman Coach on TikTok.
Uh-huh.
Follow her hubs on TikTok at what an awesome story, Tiffany.
Thank you.
Seriously, like I'm fired up this morning. I really am. It's just such a cool thing to see people using these strategies and skills and making them their own. It's so amazing how much you can do with these core 4 business models. As you can see, somebody can get right into, testing a niche and then saying, oh, wow, this is taking off. Let me create something. Let me create a little course. Let me find an affiliate offer. And, you don't have to have all this stuff figured out and picked out before you start to create content and test an audience. Just like your husband did. It's a great case study because it's not like he went and created all this stuff first and got ready to get ready. He said, hey, look, let me do some testing of some content because I see her rocking and rolling over here. Let me kind of model that. Let me test some content and see if there's something here. And for many of you who think, well, I don't know what I'm going to do until I get to my first 1,000 followers on TikTok and I can put my link up there. Here's what you're going to do. You're going to actually create marketing content and just test the audience and not worry about selling a dadgum thing until you have 1,000 followers at minimum. Because what's most important, if you're going into a niche that's new, this is really important for all of you going into a niche to where you don't really, now if you're going into a niche that it's crystal clear and you've got lots of examples, then you can do more setup because it's more predictable. But if you're going into a new niche, my friend, or you're looking to promote a new product, or you're stepping into something and there's not like a bunch of examples, just test the dang niche for free by just opening up a TikTok account, Instagram account, Facebook account, or even just a TikTok account and simply testing the content to see if it's sort of like going to a fishing spot and doing a couple of casts. See if there's any fish in that spot. See if they respond to that chum, if you can bring them to the boat. See if the bait that you brought is actually going to be interesting to them, if they're going to want to be hungry for that. And then if so, then you can go and build the back end of your business and set those pieces up because now you found a nice little honey hole that you can pull some fish out, right?
Exactly. Yep, that's literally what he did. He just started testing the waters and his page just blew up and he's like, okay, I gotta leverage this. I have all these people that are wanting this content and I gotta give them something. So
yeah. Well, Tiffany, this has just been this has been incredible, a great conversation. I hope that it reaffirms to you that, being nervous has nothing to do with performance. It has nothing to do with the result. And this is a message that I want to share with everybody this morning, because you were a little nervous where we went on live today. I was a little nervous, right? You don't know how I'm feeling. I might be more nervous than you are, sweating like, whoo, buddy, dripping. And then about 30 seconds, 45 seconds into the just lost Tiffany. Maybe she'll come back. I think she probably tried to answer a phone call and accidentally hung up on us.
I don't know what happened.
Hey, it's all good. It's all good. It's fine. I just am really thankful for your story this morning. And, I'm just always amazed by what we can do when we actually just like believe in ourselves just a little bit, give ourselves a chance, and then actually start putting some pieces in doing some things, not just learning, not just worrying, right? But actually putting pieces in play and taking action. And then the belief and the confidence that's built in a short period of time. You've only been doing this for 2 months, correct? Or that's when you took the...
Yeah. I'm now in my third month.
Found us was 3 months ago, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay, for those of you who were asking that, that's a common question. How long has she been doing it? How much money have you made? All this kind of stuff. Well, how much money she's made is, quite frankly, none of everybody's business, right? And if she wants to share that, then you can ask that and privately or whatever. But that's not the important part on this in this moment right now. Whether she's made hundreds of thousands, whether she's made a few thousand, what's important is within 3 months, magic has happened. The impossible has become possible. An ordinary person has done something extraordinary, right? In 3 months. And yes, money's been made.
This is just the beginning.
Yes, money's been made for all you who are curious in the back. And absolutely, it's just 3 months. Think about 3 months in terms of just a human being.
Yeah.
You are not, you are 3 months, you don't know your butt from a hole in the ground, and we get into this for 3 months and we want to be experts. But if you really just take it a step at a time, it's amazing what can be accomplished. Are you actually surprised, and has it made you more excited because of what you've accomplished in 3 months?
100%. I honestly know this is just the beginning. Like 90 days, think about like starting a career or going to college or whatever it is. 90 days is nothing. And so I know I'm in this for the long haul. Even if it takes me 2 years to get to where I want to be or whatever it is, I'm just going to keep showing up. So 90 days is just the beginning.
Well, Tiffany, I know that you're busy and you've got, kids, and you're homeschooling and you're doing all these amazing things on top of this. So just thanks so much for taking some time out of your morning this morning. I know your time is valuable, and what you've contributed here has been just incredibly valuable. So come back and see me.
Thank you.
Know you?
Of course, for sure. Thank you so much.
All right. Stay legendary, my friend.
Bye.
All right, everybody, you can go and follow Tiffany over on TikTok and Instagram at Abundant Life Affiliate. Abundant Life Affiliate. And, oh, by the way, you can follow her husband over at Road a Man Coach. Road a Man, RODEMAN Coach. Road a Man Coach. All right. Now, even though he's not the star of the show this morning, just wanted to give him a little love. Wow, what a great story, my friends. You are worth it. This is worth it. And every single morning, there's yet another example of why, right? So if you don't believe yet, believe that we believe, right? You can use our belief. You can borrow our mindset for right now. Right? If your mindset's not that, you can borrow ours. It's okay. We have enough confidence in this for you, right? Is all you have to do is figure out how to stop getting ready to get ready and start being decisive, making decisions, and taking action, building your dreams. That's it. There's no one size fits all. There's no guaranteed path, but there's enough good information from enough good people taught in a good enough way here in Legendary that you can accomplish what you want to accomplish and more. And here's the final thing. If you were to say your goals that you have for 1 year from now, and you took incredible action for the next 365 days, you will shortchange yourself once you actually get to the end of that 360. Every single year that happens to me. I always set too small goals, right? You will be amazed by what you can accomplish. Just hang in there and wait for the momentum to build. Once it does, it becomes like a snowball. It gets bigger and bigger, and it's harder to stop. You get to a point to where you can't even turn it off. You've got so many sources of traffic. You've got email lists. You've got so many assets, right? You've got all this digital real estate that you have videos on, the traffic. That's momentum. And most of you don't have it right now. Why? Because you're getting ready to get ready. Get in there, get started, and do something every day for the next 90 days and let some momentum pick up for you. Don't just think that it can only happen for others. And we'll meet you back here tomorrow for another episode. Thank you all, even for being here and commenting. You're important as well. And of course, thanks again to Tiffany. Peace.